and you purchase plastic sheeting and duct tape. And there's a little guideline in here that can help you do that. I attended a shelter-in-place lecture not long ago, and she says, you absolutely have no idea how many trucks with hazardous chemicals are traveling. She says millions of gallons of hazardous chemicals and wastes and things are going along I-15. We are the main route. And she says, it doesn't happen very often, but it is truly one of the most likely scenarios for us to have, is to be sheltering in place. But some of that you can't be learning about sheltering in place when it's time to shelter in place. So it's one of those things where you've got to think about this overall plan. So I really went to check this out and said, I have got to find a complete plan so people can put together something that is easy and it's step-by-step, guides them through a plan. So I went to a lot of websites, and I can tell you, every single city government website, and I didn't go to all of them, obviously, but I went to a lot of them, every single one has an emergency preparedness plan for their city. Now, and they tell you, have a plan, have a plan, have a plan. If you go to ready.gov, if you look, have you seen? Get a kit, have a plan, be informed. And a lot of the cities are in, they've adopted that, to get a kit and have a plan. It is so important to have a plan. Well, as I went and looked at all of these plans, they all vary slightly. I didn't find one that was really a complete plan, and so I created a very complete and comprehensive plan. Well, here is one of the glitches. Every single one of those plans said, collect your important documents and your vital records. Okay, what does that mean? And they said, put it in a portable, waterproof box. Okay, and I'm thinking, okay, now wait a minute. Now I got to go to my filing cabinet, and those who know me, this won't be any surprise. It's color coordinated and it's all labeled. And I can go and I can see my birth certificates and all the Social Security cards and the passports and our health insurance and life insurance and auto insurance, and it's all organized. And I thought, okay, now I don't quite get this. I said, they want me to go and take it where I know it's from and put it in a box that doesn't have a good order, that's portable, that I might not know where it's at. And I just said, so I started asking around. I said, how are you doing this? How are people putting their vital, records and these important documents together? Because I couldn't quite visualize how that could be done. However, as I researched and I kept reading about this, I started to realize how important those documents are going to be in piecing your life together after an emergency. I mean, just simply having a copy of a utility bill that proves that you are a resident can help you establish residency if you have to relocate. And we might have to relocate. We might have to find a place for a week, a couple of days, whatever, if we evacuate. But think of those people in Hurricane Katrina. Some of them left, and they never, ever, ever returned home. And now, if they don't have a proof of citizenship, their identification, I mean, if they want to get a loan to start over, do they have simple tax returns or just some simple documents? Now, so I started learning. It really is important. But it's not only, well, let me back up. It's very important. So I started looking. I said, okay, I need a plan for these vital records and these important documents. Where can I find a plan? Well, I couldn't. I couldn't find one on any government kind of web. Well, I did eventually. There was one. But it just tells you what to do. It was not as complete and organized as I thought it should be. And but I found a lot. Financial advisors and attorneys, they put together these pretty elaborate legacy drawers, So if something were to happen to me and my husband, somebody could carry on. I mean, that would be a disaster in my family, and somebody would have to carry on. At least I hope it would be a disaster in my family if that happened. But so I thought, we can't limit ourselves to just natural disasters or man-made disasters, terrorists or things like that. We have to be prepared for our own family emergencies as well. If something happened to my parents, I'd have to go step in and figure out and say, call my sister, did Mom want to be a donor? You know, did she ever say anything? Do you think they got burial plots somewhere? You know, I mean, we'd be asking questions. Oh, did Mom have life insurance, or was it just Dad, or what should we do about their health insurance? I mean, we would be at a little bit of a loss, which I think somebody would if something happened to my family. I mean, my kids would be asking the same questions. You know, what should we do? Did they have life insurance? I don't know. I mean, you know, you can have some family disasters that require that. So I found these really great financial, like, legacy drawers, but not as great as I wanted them to be, but they were more from financial advisors and these attorneys. And then I could find these great plans. What I could not find is somewhere that they were put all together in one place. They combined them because no matter what emergency you have, you need to activate your family plan as well as having all of your important documents and vital records. So that is what I set out to do. And we came up with this Prepare My Life Planner. And like I said, we're very excited it's going to come out on the market and it's going to be published. Now, I'll show you a little bit about it. There's the logo. You probably all have the logo. I hired this design and branding firm. And they wanted to get a visual of what people thought of when they thought of preparedness. And they finally came up, when they got all the feedback, they finally came up with, a lot of people thought of a preparedness item. You know, when you think of a plan and direction, they thought of a compass. So they made the logo into a compass. What I loved is that they made it into a house, because I thought, you know what, you need to know where you're going. You need to be on a path. You need to be solid. You need to have a plan. You need to know where you're headed and not deviate. So I love it that applies to home as well as having a plan, you know, being prepared for emergencies. So we had that little logo, and you can know that that's kind of a little abstract compass there. And then it's divided. Now, I just got the print back today, and they didn't do it quite right because these tabs are supposed to be really wide and large. But when you go through here, you'll see, like, Prepare My Family. There is a simple, easy checklist in the back. I'm sorry, I was sitting back there. I know you can't see. I don't know what to do about that. But there's a checklist that goes down of everything you do, and there's little tips and hints to make that easy. Well, here's your emergency contacts. All your phone numbers. You can put your ecclesiastical numbers in there, as well as all of your doctors, your pharmacy, you know, your it's all in there. And there's also some small cards, so you can put them up, you can write them up, cut them, and then give one to each family member. They put them in your purse, your wallet, your 72-hour kit. So you prepare your family, and then, like, there's a section you can put all your photos. You need to have family photos. If you had somebody that went missing and you said, I can't find this boy, you need a picture of them. So you put your family photos. There's a section, Prepare My Home, and simple checklist, it's your plan. I mean, and here's the part that I didn't show you that I like. Here is a communicate and reconvene. Here's where you decide your meeting spots, your out-of-state contacts. You decide a plan right here. If we cannot communicate by phone, what is our plan? What is our plan? So anyways, then it went to Prepare My Home, gathering your supplies. You know, again, it's a checklist. Whoops. Checklist of things you can do. And then it gives you some information about emergency packs, emergency sanitation, first aid, preparing your vehicle. And it does say in there, never let that gas tank get less than half full. You always keep it half full. Prepare to evacuate. It has your grab and go list. And just like he said, we were on the same page. It's got the item and the location. If it's pre-thought out and determined, written down, that is your plan. And then it has a whole section of leaving home. So you've got a place to put all your maps, and you can print out additional maps, additional routes. Here's your destination planning, and you put them in different directions. Because in my family, my parents have a condo in St. George, and we've always thought, okay, if we have to evacuate, we are off to St. George. What happens if we cannot evacuate and go south? What happens, not that this would happen, but just for theory, let's say there's a nuclear explosion in Las Vegas and the wind is headed north. We are not going to St. George. Well, then what do you do? I mean, what's your plan? If your plan is pre-thought out and written down in a place where you know it is and your family is acquainted with it, then when the time comes for you to implement that plan.